we've seen the two ways in which we can run Python code, and these are the Python interpreter shell and Python scripts. Now, let's see how can we insert some data into our programs and how can we deal with our Python applications in a more interactive way. First, let's return to our file and run it one more time. So we are currently in the working directory. Let's do an ls. The file is still there. Let's run the file one more time. So Python file1.py. Okay, it still returns hello Python as expected. Now, what if you want to run the same file multiple times and print different strings each time you run it? So you want to keep the print functionality in the file and only change the actual output to the screen. Well, you can do that by modifying, saving, and running the file each time, but really that would be very time consuming. One way to accomplish this task and save time is to use the Python sys module. We will talk about modules and importing them later on in the course, but for now, you should keep in mind that a module is just a Python file having some code within it and some functionality. The sys module is mainly used to access interpreter variables like, for example, command arguments, and it is a Python built-in module, so you don't have to worry about downloading and installing it. It is already there for you. So, how can we access a Python module from within our file? Well, simple enough. Let's go into the file using the same Vim editor, so vim file1.py, hit I for insert. Okay, so now we are in the insert mode. Okay, we should use the import statement followed by the module name. So let's go to the file and add import and the name of the file, and that is sys, at the beginning of the file. By adding this statement into our file, we will tell Python to run the code inside the module before running whatever we have written after it, in order to have all the module's functions and other specific data available further on in our program. So each time we want to access one of the module's functions, we will write the module's name before the function. So if we want to use function x, let's say in the sys module, into our own script, then we will use sys.x to access that specific function. Okay, now returning to our hello Python script, we will use a built-in function from within the sys module. The function is called argv, and its job is to access and return the arguments we are passing in a command. So instead of printing hello Python explicitly, let's print the argument we are passing to the Python command when running the script. There's one more trick here. If we will print just sys.argv, Python will return a list of all the command arguments that we pass to the Python command. Okay, let's see that. So let's delete that. And instead of hello Python, let's print just sys.argv. Okay, let's save it and run it. Okay, so we see here a list of arguments which were passed into the Python command. In our case, it is just file1.py, so the file name. What if we run the same command and we add another argument? So let's say the old hello Python. Okay, now we see a list which is composed of two elements. First is the file name, and the second element is the string we entered and we wanted to be printed to the screen. Okay, so Python will return a list of all the command arguments that we passed to the Python command. The first is the file name, but really we are interested in printing just the second argument. This is the string we want to be printed out on our screen. So let's get back to the file and specify which argument we want to receive. As a side note, in Python, when counting the elements in a sequence, the counting usually starts from 0, not 1. So in the list of arguments we got back from the print sys.argv, although the hello Python string was the second element, its position from Python's point of view, also called an index, is 1, because 0 would be the first argument, the file name. I hope this makes sense. If it doesn't, don't worry, we will work with indexes a lot further in the course. Now, back to our file. let's tell Python that we want just the second argument to be returned to the screen. We want to do this by adding the index we want in between square brackets after sys.argv. So let's go back, insert. So after sys.argv, we want the second element to be printed out on the screen. So this is the one index. Okay, that's it. Let's save it and run it one more time. Okay, so we have hello Python. Let's try this with other strings. So let's see hello Java. Okay, let's see hello Perl. Okay, and further on. Perfect. So remember, use sys.argv and the correct index whenever you want to pass arguments to a Python script, and whenever you want to save time to print or, I don't know, access other functionality of a script in an interactive way.